Hello! I'm a paranoid rat and I'm here to draw shit and drag you down with me. There is no escape. As promised, here's another character designing video this week. I'm designing characters. A lot. An ungodly amount, actually. It's terrifying. And I'm constantly on the search for what's going to be my next victim to turn into character design. And this week, I thought it would be cool to design characters based on color palettes. I considered doing color scheme types, but I thought randomly generated color palettes I have no control over would be a lot more fun and hard, but I like to suffer, so worth it. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. Alright, so I just found some random color palette generator, and let's get our first palette. Ooh, I actually really like this. Okay, this is gonna be fun. So, starting off strong with this palette. This challenge was, a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Usually when I do character designs based on random things, those things have a lot of shape language and visual elements to draw from. But I have none of that, just the colors, which posed a greater challenge than anticipated. But I'm really happy with these colors, very dark with a nice pop of red. I debated for this challenge if I was allowed to use extra colors for skin tones and shit, but I quickly banned that. I had to use exclusively what I was given with no outside help. Except for when I was rendering, but just for flat colors, I was only permitted these. For this one, I definitely leaned into the punk demon aesthetic, which is really fun to draw and a comfort zone for me. But it fit and I liked it, so that's my excuse. The palette already supplied me with a decent skin color, but I could just draw a random demon dude, but no, of course not. I had to go and make it weird. Again, that's a running theme with my designs, I suppose. A while ago, I got a comment. I'm sorry, I don't have the comment on hand or remember who said it, but there was a request to do a design where the rib cage was on the outside of the character, and as somebody with an unhealthy love for rib cages, I'm not a serial killer, I jumped to include that. I think it's really interesting having the skin fade right into the rib cage and spine, and then having a demon tail be made of bones. I also gave him a skull on his face, not sure if it's face paint or not, but I think it's neat and I stuck with it. And yes, he got a lot of random chains. Chains are badass and I love them, so fight me. He gets all the chains, his rotting black heart wants. I loved working with this palette. I love black and red together, and the bone white was excellent. I ended up being really happy with this in the end. The red adds a lot of sweet, sweet contrast, which I just eat up and does a lot for design. The magic of contrast. Oh, I love him. The colors worked well. As a first attempt at this challenge, I'm quite proud and happy with the result. Not exactly reaching out of my comfort zone here, but I don't really care because it looks nice and I feel like it works well. And this is an outfit I would 100% wear, ribcage included. I think that's cool. I don't know where his organs really go, but maybe he doesn't have them. He's, a demon. He doesn't need organs. That's 100% how this works. Alright, for our second color palette, we got, ooh, again, I like these color palettes. This is gonna be fun. This one gave me the most trouble, not gonna lie. I spent way too long just staring at these colors in total confusion. I felt like I was getting a lot of cottagecore vibes from it, but then there's just this bright ass pink that I have no idea what to do with, and just cottagecore is pretty boring and vague, and I needed more to go off. My friend suggested a wizard apprentice, which, I mean, how can I say no to that? So I jumped at this, that then led me to search cottagecore wizard in Pinterest for, inspiration to see if there's anything there. This was the first thing that came up, so that happened. Anyways, to the design. I knew for certain I needed the iconic hat covered in mushrooms, as, one does. I then just threw together something that felt very whimsical and soft. These colors gave me a hell of a time, though. I'm generally not somebody who gravitates towards pastels. I like them aesthetically and in other people's art. And here and there, I will use them, but I really like bright colors in my own art with like a lot of tonal variation, which I didn't really have here and was really quite frustrated by. The pink ended up being very helpful and made a great accent color for some eye-bleeding pop, which I'm always down for. Is it my favorite design ever? No. But am I happy with it after my struggles? Yes. I love drawing woodsy fantasy characters like this and adding all the details and bits and bobs that I think make them really interesting. I wanted to give them the fine mushroom socks from my lovely inspiration image, but alas, they didn't fit and I had to scrap them. A moment of silence for the mushroom stockings, please. And moment over. They're dead to me. All in all, good design. Only wanted to bang my head into the desk a few times. I made the line art too thick for my liking, but no way am I going back and fixing that. I might be crazy, but I'm not that crazy. And I do have to say, few things are as satisfying as rendering the folds in a chunky skirt. And I also very recently came to the realization of how long I take to render, because generally I don't time myself, but recently I had a 2-hour period and I thought I would get to multiple projects in that time, but no. It took me 2 hours to render an entire character like this, so that was eye-opening, I suppose. That's one word for it. But yeah, I like this character. And none of these characters have names at the moment, so if you have any ideas, I love reading you guys' suggestions for names. And speaking of name suggestions, in my last video, you guys came up with name ideas for 2 of the characters, which I'm making canon, and I quite like. So last week I did character designs based on the 5 senses, and for hearing, people suggested naming it Echo, which I love, and for taste we got Umami, which I love, and that's her canonical name, so thank you. Anyways, back to the final design. And for our 3rd palette, let's see. Ooh, oh man, I'm a sucker for a solid teal, so this is gonna be good. Last one. I didn't debate on this one too heavily. Blue's mermaid, obviously. My homage to Mermaid, I suppose, which I forget exists and generally ignore and never participate in because I never draw mermaids. But here we are in the completely incorrect month. This is on brand. I don't know why you guys are still here. I can't keep track of time for the life of me. And I think it's pretty widely accepted. Monster siren mermaids are objectively better, and what I tried to capture here. Now, I never draw this lovely fish-ass things, and certainly struggled with the posing and anatomy, but I found something decent, I think. With more time, I think I certainly would have cooked up something more creative and detailed, but I do rue the lack of unnecessary trinkets and details in this, but I had a lot of fun stepping out of my, normal human anatomical features. I mean, it's a fish person, I can do whatever I want. So messing with the facial features and body was very enjoyable. I really liked the gills and had a lot of fun with the blue skin. I really should draw characters with more natural skin colors. Why am I missing out on this opportunity? I will be doing this more. I hope. Dear God, I hope so. I guess the fun part of this challenge was that it really pushed me to use palettes I would never use on my own time and just make them work. Which is, I think that's really good because sometimes we can really get caught in ruts of like the same colors and things that we use in our art. So pushing yourself to use something that you wouldn't gravitate towards normally can be really nice and fun, I suppose. I also apparently didn't realize I hated rendering fish scales and slightly translucent fins, which I did not capture. And I made her hair strange texture too, that also made rendering hell. If I were to do this again, I would definitely add more like marks on her skin like I do have on her cheeks coming from her eyes, and just added more detail and probably made her hair better because I did not enjoy rendering that and I don't know if I'm happy with it. It's fine. It's kind of blank and underwhelming and could use some more oomph. Like, I like detail and this is lacking in that detail and that makes me sad. Well, guess I'll need to draw another terrifying fish person in the future to give unhinged characteristics and traits. Oh no, woe is me. Well, who knows, maybe I'll actually draw like mermaids next year because let's be honest, it's probably going to be another year until I draw sirens and mermaids and stuff because Yeah, it's me. What are you expecting here? Me to be on time for things? And there we go. I did it. I drew characters based on randomly generated palettes. What did we learn? This was hard. Will I do it again? Probably. It was fun, especially if you struggle with picking colors. Anyways, this was really fun, and I love doing random character designs anytime I can. Thanks for watching to the end. Kudos to you for sitting through me rambling for this long. If you like my art, any interaction is appreciated and goes a long way. And with everything going on with like AI and Instagram and stuff, I have moved on to Kara, where I've been posting art there, and I plan to post there a lot more than I do on Instagram. For now, at least until policies change, because Instagram sucks right now. And I don't want my art to be stolen, and it's probably too late for that. But on Kara, it's a really nice community, and I'm there, and I greatly appreciate anybody who follows me over there too. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll be back next week, and you are dismissed. Ciao!